Are the Gorosei really that strong, or are they just a bunch of frauds? Honestly, I think this is the One Piece community's favorite argument, just to pick any character who's been labeled as strong and say they have to be a fraud. But let's get into it. Let's really talk about what these people can do. But spoilers up through the Elbaf manga. If you haven't been reading, then scroll on. So obviously, we get our first and only showing of the Gorosei's actual power over on Egghead. We see all of them pull up in their demon form specifically. And we see feats like them taking out virtually every pacifista within seconds. Not to say that's a groundbreaking feat, but every single one of them at the speed that they did it is still notable. But the back half of Egghead also low-key gives us a highlight reel of the Gorosei just getting rocked by Dorian Bragi, again by Dorian Bragi. Sanji even gets a nasty kickoff right here. So yeah, glancing at this, you'd kind of think, wait a minute, the Gorosei are kind of getting rocked. Are they fodder? I think the most important thing we need to think about here is the fact that the Gorosei don't need to worry about taking attacks. They are literally as tanky as anyone can be because they have regen. Every single time we see them get hurt, they just regenerate and keep going. And it seems like they have an endless amount of energy to do that as well. So why would you even be dodging these things if you can just keep attacking and heal up while you're doing it? To be honest, I think their biggest weakness is their hubris. A, they haven't fought in an incredibly long time, and B, they know that Emu or whatever is controlling these powers completely has their back, at least as far as regenerating them so they can continue fighting. So really, they're all just strength builds with a crazy regen glitch. But we do see moments like this with Luffy hitting the Gorosei with a red rock, and the armament is so strong it just hurts Luffy. So that alone tells you at least this specific Gorosei is able to do armament hockey on the level of a Yonko. And I would argue it's fair to assume that most of them can probably do something close to this if they do actually need to defend themselves. So as far as the 5 Gorosei are concerned, I do not think they're outright weak. Nor are they useless, they just have hacks. And because of that, they can play in a really spammy kind of way. They're basically just button mashing X because they know they can't lose. But then we have the second half of this comment saying that Figarland and the Holy Knights are the only good men that Emu actually have at their disposal. And while yes, these guys are incredibly strong and also contain many of the hacks that the Gorosei have, I wouldn't say that the Holy Knights themselves are any stronger than the Gorosei. Figarland for sure, because he is now a Gorosei, so he's on that level, and I'm sure Emu has probably given him more powers. And now, of course, we've seen that the Holy Knights also have the regen powers, and they have very broken Devil Fruit abilities. But outside of those Devil Fruit abilities, I don't know how physically strong they really are. We saw that Scopper Gaban was able to actually hurt Sommers. I think it's fair to assume that Shamrock is probably the strongest Holy Knight since he's the top of that brass. And then we have characters like Killingham that just simply have a broken fruit. We don't really know how strong his physical body is. So personally, I would argue that the Holy Knights are still below the Gorosei in physical strength. It's just that they have hacks too. But as always guys, let me know what you think. Are the Gorosei frauds, or did they just not have to worry about getting hit?